You are listening to a pleasure podcast. For more from our sex podcast collective, visit pleasurepodcasts.com.
We were just a stroke of luck that we turned in the right direction.
So then we get up to the house finally.
I should have checked my pants to see if I peed, because I easily could have peed and I wouldn't have known it.
Well, I'll tell you, I checked my pants immediately upon entering the place. I went to the bathroom and had explosive. I emptied my colon, my small intestine, my large intestine, all of my GI tract came out into the toilet. I talk about relief. It's uncomfortable to talk about sex, but sometimes it's important to get uncomfortable. Sex Talk with My Mom is the best mom-son podcast about sex.
It's the only one as well.
My mother is a cougar.
My son is a clown.
In a nutshell, my dad died, so my mother decided to create a YouTube channel all about sex, like all mothers do.
And then my son decides to use my material in his stand-up comedy routines.
And thus, Sex Talk with My Mom was born. Welcome to Sex Talk with My Mom. I'm Cam Potter.
And I'm Karen Lee Potter.
That's my mother. We just got back from an epic mother-son vacation.
Oh my God. It was a last minute thing. Just, you call me up and like, you want to go on a road trip? And I'm like, I don't know why. And you said, well, I got this friend of mine. He's got this house up in Big Sur. And I think it's a good idea if we go up there. It would be a getaway. We could turn off all of our gadgets.
Yep, they didn't have any electricity up there. Or no, they had electricity. They didn't have any significant Wi-Fi.
They didn't have.
And I thought that would prevent you
from TikToking,
from escaping into the TikTok universe.
Do you feel now, looking back, that I did what you accomplished?
I would say you were TikToking more than ever before. I don't even understand how you found the bandwidth, the internet bandwidth to do it.
Well, let's just start from the very beginning. Okay, we really don't want the sneaky freaks to miss out on this story, because this story exemplifies every bit of our personalities.
Well, let's just say, I went into this trip knowing that we were venturing into the unknown. We were not big outdoor adventurers.
Well, you are more than me.
I'm definitely more than you.
Yeah, you go away for the silent retreats and all that.
But you're still taken care of. It's very rare that I'm shepherding my mother into the great outdoors.
Shepherding?
I was your shepherd.
You were my Sherpa.
You don't think I was sherping the whole time?
Are you resentful on this?
I'm not resentful, but right. Let's just give her a little debrief of what we both showed up and brought to the trip.
Right. And by the way, if you would like to see a video of this, part 1 is already up on TikTok.
Of course.
Under Sex Talk with My Mom on TikTok. And you can see an actual live. It's a story that went on.
Yeah, it's a story that I had no desire of in creating. And then every time I looked over to you, you were filming.
But you have to admit, it's pretty damn funny.
It's like living in the Truman Show with you.
Was it funny?
It was funny.
Okay, so shut the fuck up.
All right. So you get in my car, and what were the things that you decided to bring?
I brought wine.
Wine.
I brought weed.
Weed.
And I brought some spicy toasted almonds.
Oh, wow.
And what else did I bring? Oh, some gummies.
And sandals.
And sandals. I did bring gym shoes.
Wow. It's very nice. It felt very well taken care of in that situation.
Well, first of all, I had no clue that you couldn't just drive into town.
No. This is 2 hours from the closest grocery store.
Maybe you should have told me this. Maybe you should have said...
We're going off the beaten path.
Okay, but maybe you should have said, we're not going to be able to just go into town and have a nice dinner, which is what I thought we were going to have. I was going to bring nice clothes. I was going to bring a slinky top and bell-bottom pants, and thought, I'm going to really do up the town over there in Big Sur.
We're essentially going camping, but there's a house in the middle of the forest.
Know that.
Okay. Well, I was prepared. Luckily, I assumed that you were not bringing any of this shit.
Brought?
I brought everything you could possibly need for wilderness survival. First aid kit, pocket knife, 3 days worth of food for both of us, headlamp, hiking boots, chargers of all varieties. I was fully prepared.
You had a suitcase.
Two coats.
It looked like you 2 coats. You had a suitcase that looked like you were going away for 3 weeks. I almost forgot to bring a jacket altogether.
I was actually surprised I brought more than you. But
more than me?
You probably were too busy TikToking to fucking pack.
I literally found out about this like 2 hours before.
Mom, you found out about this weeks before, and you were hemming and hawing up until 2 hours before.
Okay, first of all,
You were hemming and
that's
hawing.
an outright lie.
You were hemming on how?
No,
hawing.
the weeks.
Okay, it was the prior
Literally,
weekend.
no.
And then we said we're not going to go.
We're
and
not going to bicker.
We're not going to bicker.
All right, we're not bickering. We're not bickering. Okay.
But we started going up, and I like to make sure I'm safe.
Yes, you do.
And we're going up to Big Sur, which is this very forested area.
Yes.
During fire season.
Yeah.
Because it gets drier and drier. Throughout.
So you became a little bit anxious about the fires.
I got a little nervous because only a few months or a couple weeks prior, the whole place was on fire.
Right, and you had also done some research prior to this.
Yes, all the full night's worth of research to find out where the fires are currently 98% contained in Big Sur right now.
So that wasn't good enough.
Well, we were going up there, and
we had to make a pit stop too.
It dawned on me that. Why aren't we calling people that are up there right now to tell us what the vibe is like?
Because you don't know anybody up there.
Well, I figured out I could call a hotel that's up there and see if the place is on fire.
Ring, ring, ring.
Hi.
Welcome to
Post Ranch Inn.
Post Ranch Inn. What can I do for you?
Hi.
My name is Rachel. I'm about 17 years old.
Hi, I'm Cam. I'm 31 years old. I'm bringing my mother who has a bum hip up there.
What?
Yeah.
Why are you bringing up the bum hip? You didn't say that to me.
Okay. So
I'm
Rachel,
Rachel.
I'm hoping that you can help me with a question I have.
Sure.
Is Big Sur on fire right now?
What? What?
Yeah, are we at risk of the trees burning and getting lit on fire right now?
Hey Joe, you got to hear this.
Fuck you, Rachel. Thank you. And so then I go
Oh my God.
So Rachel fucking laughs in my face.
She totally laughed, and you did not find that amusing at all.
I did not find that amusing.
But still,
what the fuck is so crazy about that question?
So she goes on. So Rachel says, well, no, there's no fires right now. She calmed down to say that.
Yeah.
And is there anything else I can help you with? You were not done with her yet.
Well, I wanted to know, in case of a fire, will someone sound the alarms? What is this protocol? Did they close the roads?
Rachel says, I don't know. I think you're okay.
Are you sure that there's no fire? Are you sure that we're not at risk of fire?
No, but would you
in the next 48 hours, are we going to be experiencing a fire? These are simple questions. I don't know why she's at the front desk of a very fancy hotel. Why the fuck can't she give me a straightforward answer?
Because she literally, if she was 17, that was very old for her.
She was so young.
She had a very young voice.
She had a youthful voice.
And she probably had never encountered such neurosis and all the times that she's been working behind that front desk.
And this is, for the record, this is not the first time I've called the front desk while we've been on a trip together.
Oh, I remember.
With a bit of concern.
Let's bring us back to another time when
Chicago.
we were in Chicago.
It was a windstorm. I thought the whole fucking hotel was going to collapse.
You were in a hotel room and you called up the front desk and
at 3 in the morning.
At 3 in the morning, asking him if this is typical.
It was another 17-year-old girl.
And she said, "No, I think that was a guy." And I have this on tape as well. And this guy was like, you said, "Do you think that the building may fall over?" And he said, "I don't think so. We've been here for a long time."
No, that is not what he said. He said, "Let me transfer you to my manager."
Oh, maybe that's what it was. He
and then the
you
GM
because
told me.
The younger one did not know what to do with you. That's why it was a girl that, and then she transferred you to the guy. Okay.
Yes.
No one knows what to make of this because it's like if you walked into a psychiatrist's office and you had someone like you, they're not prepared. When they get their training to be a concierge,
they should be prepared.
Or to be a front desk manager. This guy's at 3:00 in the morning. He's trying to get some rest, and you're calling him to find out if the building's going to topple over.
If you're in a zone where there could be natural disasters. Acts of God
everywhere.
That against where you're staying. You need to be able to comfort your residents.
You live in an earthquake zone.
Yes.
You don't necessarily call up people all the time asking if there's gonna be an earthquake.
Absolutely, I call my
God.
sister all the time. My sister's worse than me. She's taking fucking emergency preparedness classes. She knows everything there is to know about earthquakes. She's way worse than me, and thank God I have her in my life, so I don't need to take those courses.
All right.
Moving right along. After we have that very riveting fucking conversation with Rachel, the 17-year-old bitch.
You decide it's a good time to take a piss at the side of the road because you were going to lose it if you didn't.
Well, she relieved some of my anxiety related to the fire, so I felt like I could relieve myself.
Oh, okay. So your bodily fluids are always like
they're tied.
They're tied into what's going on to your mental anxiety.
Yeah, so I felt like I could relieve
myself. So you could relieve yourself. So you literally took a 5-minute piss, like literally in front of the highway.
I was holding for a while. I don't care if no one can see my shit.
All right. Meanwhile, I had to pee on the other side of the road.
Yeah.
So I had to go behind a door, and I'm not prepared to pee. No one tells me that I'm going to not be able to pee in bathrooms. You didn't tell me that. There's no
where on the road trip are there going to be?
They should at least have a porta potty, something for women. I'm sorry. I can't just whip it out and pee anywhere. I had to pee behind the door of the car, and I peed on my foot. Ew. And as I'm peeing on my foot, you go, did you just shit?
Yeah, I heard some noises coming out of you.
I farted because I was peeing, and I laughed because you're peeing so long. I farted, and you asked me if I just shit, and that made me laugh even harder. So I'm literally in my sandals, the only shoes that I brought, I peed on.
Ew, disgusting.
All right, but anyway, I didn't.
And then what? You take all my sanitizer and fucking douse your feet in them.
What am I supposed to do? Wasn't about to bathe my feet.
Well, so now I'm gonna have coronavirus because you pissed all over your fucking toes.
All right, we didn't even get.
We haven't even gotten to the fucking place.
Oh, okay.
So it just gets worse.
Well, we're driving in your Toyota. Now I blame this on the owner of the home.
Do not. He's a good friend of mine, and I don't want this episode to be hating on him.
Do not go up to this place.
He said, "Do not go at night."
And that's the first problem, okay? Because I didn't realize that night meant like 6 o'clock.
Yeah, the sundown.
Sundown immediately, and then there's no lights. Okay, that's one big problem. But the second big problem is
because she's pissing all over her feet. We get there after sundown.
We took a 1-hour break to eat dinner
because it was already sundown.
Okay, your point.
We got there after sundown.
You're blaming this on me.
We're going up this road, okay, and I could tell that the owner of the house was a bit concerned for us because he said, I've only done that a few times going up there at night. But he's like, you could probably do it. You could probably do it.
Probably is not the answer I wanted to hear either. Not to mention that you were driving not the type of vehicle that you're supposed to be driving.
I have a Corolla SE, a sports edition.
A sporty little car that's very low to the ground. I know it because I've driven that car before.
It's a 4-cylinder that acts like a 6-cylinder.
Yeah, it's got power. But meanwhile, we're not driving a Hummer. You need like a little off-terrain vehicle, like the Jeep or something.
We didn't realize that it was. I didn't realize that the dirt road.
Why don't you describe like the first part? You're going through these winding mountains, which is scary enough on any mountains are scary.
I was breezing through them.
You weren't breezing.
I was breezing.
I was sweating.
I was breezing.
You were singing and being joyful about look here. I'm like, can you look at the road? You're about to go over the road.
I was having the time of my life in those mountains.
I was white knuckling it.
And then we get.
There's 3 parts to this.
Okay.
Then we get to the next part, which is semi-paved.
Yeah.
Okay, that part wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
Semi-paved wasn't great, but then we have to go through the dark and the semi-paved road, and there's no signs that say this is this street. It's like, oh yeah, go to the right, and then there might be a sign that says like deer crossing or something, and I don't even think there was that there wasn't even deer crossing. It was like there's a little turnoff,
and there's no reception.
5 to 10 minutes of driving, and there will be a little turnoff. Turn right onto that little turnoff.
Yep. We passed that turnoff real fast.
About 20 times. That's why we ended up going to eat at the restaurant, because at that point, we didn't know where the fuck we were. It said, go past the post office and drive 5 to 10 minutes. That's a big difference.
So we had some trouble finding that road, but we found it.
Yeah, because we asked directions 3 times from the other 17-year-old girl, and then you had to barrage her with questions as well.
Well, so then I'm preparing because I text my friend who now learns that we're coming up there at night.
We were able to get reception at the restaurant,
and that's when he told me that he thinks we can do it.
He thinks we could do it, and he's only tried it a couple times at night. And by the way,
he said you could probably do it.
It could be broad daylight. It is a treacherous, winding. Now we're going into a dark, winding road that has a lot of bumps that you don't know are coming. And then we finally get to the big gate. This gate, the elusive gate that you dial the number. I still remember the code. It's like 3337 or something.
What the fuck?
This is what how it was. I was trying to remember any clues I could to get into. And I'm like, we're going in this dirt road. This dirt road is like not like paved dirt. It's like going through snow, but it's really dirt.
Oh,
It's like so thick that your tires are like going around in circles and not getting any traction. And we're now turning onto a mountain. We're halfway up this mountain.
We're on a 60-degree incline, I'd say.
Overlooking a cliff.
We're on a cliff. There's no boundary. And that's what I do. My friend texted me, just make sure to hug the what did he say? The cliff's edge, or basically hug the inside of the cliff.
Something like that. Hug the inside of the cliff.
What the fuck am I going to be hugging that for? And it's because there's no other end. You could just drive straight off the fucking thing.
Right. I'm aware of that, Cam, because I was freaking sweating. My heart was palpitating, and it didn't help when you were like gunning it, and then we're stuck,
Mom.
and then we're gunning it, and we're stuck again, and I'm like, I don't like this, and you're like, it's fine, and Mom, don't act like this, and you're like making me like I'm a crazy person for being scared. It's pitch black.
No.
We don't know what turns are next because we can't see shit, and then we're going through mud that's meant for an all-terrain vehicle, not a Toyota Corolla.
My Corolla was struggling up the mountain a little bit.
Struggling.
Yeah.
We got stuck. I literally that was it. That was the turning point when you turned to me. And what did you say?
I think we might have to go back down.
No, you said, I don't think I can do this. And your voice sounded like you were when you were 4 years old. When you saw the llama at the safari in Florida, when the llama stuck his head in our window and you like were quivering when shaking.
So this is what happened. The car stops. It won't. The more that I push forward with the accelerator,
the more you get stuck.
The more that it's digging me into the sand, this dirt sand, and then I'm trying to reverse. Not if I reverse too fast, I'm gonna fly the fuck off the goddamn cliff.
Right, I'm aware of that. I'm shaking thinking about it right now.
And so there's not even close to being enough room to do a 3-point turn.
And by the way, there's no lights.
There's
and
no
it's
lights.
One
There's
way.
no reception. We don't know how much further it's going to be. That was the scariest part. We don't know if it's going to get even steeper or windier
or how much mud.
dirt. Yeah. Oh my fuck.
It's like when you're in a snowstorm in Chicago and you're trying to get through the thick snow, but at least then you can get out and find some neighbors to help you.
And
there's no one to help us because there's nobody there. It is us and no one. It's like when I was scuba diving, I looked down and I saw nothing. That's what I felt like again.
Well, fucking luckily we had you and your flip-flops and your fucking farmer's market almonds to save us through this thing.
What saved us?
I look back.
You get out. You take a look. You're like, I don't think I could do this. Let's go in reverse. I go, okay, let's do it. Let's go in reverse. Now, by the way, you can't go in reverse down a mountain. That's one road.
We barely made it up.
We barely made it up going forward. We're not gonna be able to go down reverse.
And I'm thinking, how are we gonna get down?
No, you're thinking it's where
is Mom gonna have to get out of the car and direct me downward? She's gonna fall. I thought you were gonna fall off the mountain.
I would have fallen off the mountain. I don't know. I fall when I'm walking in a straight line. I could never
go.
You
got the bum hip. I don't think
what's with the bum hip? All of a sudden, you keep calling it a bum hip. I do have a bad hip, okay? But that doesn't mean that it had anything to do with this whatsoever. This was a terrifying experience for both of us. You're playing it off right now like you were Mr. Macho Man.
This was the scariest I've been in years. I have not been that scared. I was petrified, honestly.
I know, because you're trying to go in reverse down a mountain.
And
with one-way road with curves,
with no lights,
with dirt,
yes,
with no lights and no idea which way to turn. And
so
you started doing it, and then you turned to me and go, "Well, where will we stay? Will we stay at the hotel that we called a 17-year-old?" That was what you're worried about, where we're staying. I'm worried about what happens if we get stuck there. I'm thinking to myself, we'll lock the doors and we're gonna have to sleep in the car until somebody comes on that road again. But there might be days.
So luckily, I decide, nope, that's it. We're not going to reverse. I start sliding down the mountain, and then I fucking gut it and cruise over into the unknown. I didn't know which. I swear to God, it could have immediately turned right, and I wouldn't have known.
We were gonna either way. We were just a stroke of luck that we turned in the right direction.
So then we get up to the house finally,
and now we are like literally. I should have checked my pants to see if I peed, because I easily could have peed and I wouldn't have known it.
Well, I'll tell you, I checked my pants immediately upon entering the place.
You went in the bathroom and had diarrhea.
I went to the bathroom and had explosive. I emptied my colon, my small intestine, my large intestine, all of my GI tract came out into the toilet. I talk about relief. I couldn't believe it, and then I come out, and all I'm looking for is just a calmness. And you go, I need wine, I need weed, or both. That's exactly what you
or
said.
Valium.
Or Valium, right? Wine, weed, or Valium.
I was contemplating taking all three, and I would be like the one that never woke up.
And so then,
and by the way, this is only part one of the story. It gets worse.
So then,
So far,
we're trying to relax. I'm trying to relax at this point, but I know that I'm going to have to go down the mountain again. And I don't know if the car is going to make it.
I actually contemplated going right down the mountain at that point.
Yeah, I did too.
And we're not going to stay overnight here. We're going to leave.
That's exactly
right. But then I
right.
thought, well, if we're going to, I think it's going to be too much psychologically for either of us to get back in the car. I felt post-traumatic stress syndrome, like I had gone into the war.
I felt like a new man after taking
You let loose?
I gave birth. So we kind of couldn't really talk about anything else that night until we were putting you into bed.
Well, there's two rooms.
There's two
you
rooms.
Said you're very nice. You said you could choose whichever bed you wanted. It was very sweet.
Yeah, you chose the one with complete darkness.
Yeah, I wanted all darkness. I don't need to see any stars, okay? I need to sleep. So I take a look at the bed. It's a white sheet, a white blanket, and I see the little black dots on the bed, and I'm like, what the fuck are these little black dots? I'm wondering. I almost thought they were like mice droppings or something. And I didn't know what it is, and I'm like, Cam, you better come check this out. You know, and you're like, what? And you pick one of these little black dots up, and you go, you flick it. It's nothing. It's lint. I'm like looking under the pillow. There's lots of these little black dots. It's not like a one piece of lint. This is like a lot of little. They look like little fleas almost, but they weren't fleas. They were little black.
I'm flicking.
Like feces.
I'm flicking it off, trying to clean the bed for you.
And you found other bigger ones now. You're flicking bigger ones. And I'm like, I'm not sleeping in this fucking louse-ridden bed with these little fucking bugs. I don't know what the fuck they are. It didn't dawn on me at that point they would be bed bugs.
So you go upstairs. I find the biggest fucking bed bug in the bed behind the. Where'd
you find that?
If you're a longtime listener, you know this. But there are a few things in life that give me greater anxiety than bed bugs. It's up there with unplanned pregnancies.
Yeah, and driving on a mountain in the dark.
Yes,
that's curvy without having any traction.
Yes, I think those are the top three.
Okay, and two happened in the same evening.
We
didn't know it was a bed bug when we took a picture of it. To be honest, you of course have a Rolodex in your phone of different exterminators that you've called over the years. So you find a way to email one.
Yeah, I emailed the exterminator.
We don't hear back.
No, but at this point, I've done enough research into bed bugs over the years to know that it's a fucking nightmare.
And I don't believe you because you're always worried about bed bugs. So I thought for sure you're bullshitting again. I just didn't want to be bothered with these fucking.
I'm so itchy fucking right now just thinking about it.
All right. So anyway, they have an upstairs bed, which is like an oversized twin. I don't sleep well under the ideal conditions. This is all lights, no shades. Why bother with shades? In a bed for one person, max, with you.
Yeah.
Worried about.
What do you mean with me? You think I'm hard to sleep with?
You're not an easy sleeper.
I'm not easy to sleep with.
You're not.
It's it's like you have a baby rattle over there because every 5 seconds you're taking the medicines. This is Valium. What is this fucking Klonopin? You're just pounding some benzodiazepines.
What?
Nonstop.
I had to take a quarter of a Klonopin just to go to sleep because I was so nervous.
And then 2 hours later, that's another eighth of a Klonopin.
I was literally up 2 hours later.
Yeah, I was up too. I was up the whole fucking night.
Okay, so we were able to finally get like a whole 4 hours sleep. And I'm sorry, we didn't get to sleep. No, I'm sorry. I don't know why I would thought that just being on a one road crazy ass highway in the dark and then finding bed bugs in the bed. I don't know why I could think that something can get worse. You go outside on the top deck there and you look outside and you say, "Oh, Mom, we got to leave." I go, what do you mean we got to leave? Mom, we got to leave right now. I see fire outside. There's a fire out there. Your premonition from Rachel had come true. There's a fire.
Believe all of my biggest fears had come true.
There was a red triangle and it was moving. It was like a moving triangle. And I'm thinking, it's not fire. Because I know what fire looks like. There's smoke when it's fire. There's no fire there. And you're like,
it's
yes.
the middle of the night. How are you supposed to see if there's fucking smoke? What you see is fire. You see red is when you see fire in the middle of the forest. We're completely isolated in the middle of the forest. And I see red moving. What lights? What the fuck was I supposed to think it is?
It is now 1:00 in the morning. I'm so freaking out.
I'm ready to call Rachel at the Post Ranch Inn.
How would we get there?
I don't know. I was ready to call her and say, which way, how do I get down?
By the way, how are we going to call her?
I don't know. I was freaking out.
So there was no one to call, but we did have internet.
Right.
So I texted my daughter, Jessica's boyfriend.
Okay.
And I asked him,
You sent him the most fucked up video because you were already at that point on Valium or whatever the fuck you were on.
And wine.
Yeah.
And I sent him a video. I said, do you think that this is a UFO?
Yeah, you thought it was a fucking UFO.
Or I said, because he's into that kind of thing.
You were hoping it's a UFO. You
Or do
prefer UFO to the fire.
Or do you think it's a drone? Or do you think it's fire? And without missing a beat, he texts back, weird. And then sends us a movie about a phenomenon. So he was in his own little world. And I decided this is not good enough. I need more confirmation as to if this was fire, drone, or UFO. And I call him at 1 a.m. and he answers.
This is what we needed.
And he answered and he calmed me down somewhat.
He calmed you down.
No, he didn't.
I was like, how are you waking up your practical son-in-law right now?
Well, I
1 a.m. on a Saturday.
Who was I going to call at that point?
Why did you need to call him?
Because he knows about these things.
Moon, I would like to recommend you to use our sponsor, the Calm app.
Well, you think I didn't? I usually sponsor the Calm app.
You were rocking and rolling all night long, taking Klonopin, and you should have been putting on that Calm app, listening to Sleep Stories by Harry Styles or Laura Dern.
Can I just say something? If it wasn't for Calm, can you imagine how much worse I would be?
For those who are new to Calm, it is the #1 app to help you de-stress. If you think life is going crazy right now, the world seems on fire, check out Calm.
Calm can help you with everything, though. I listen to it for focus, de-stressing, anxiety, loneliness, for gratitude. I use it for I'm not kidding. This is not an ad. This is me telling you the truth.
Well, it is an ad.
Okay, but telling you the truth is that I use this app, and if I didn't use it, I would be a fucked up mess.
I use it as well. It helps me meditate. Also, it's good for beginners who are just learning to meditate.
And my mother, who's 88 years old, uses it.
Right now, you can get 40% off a premium subscription. 40% on hundreds of hours of programming. All you have to do is go to calm.com/sextalk. That's 40% off, unlimited access to Calm's entire library, and new content is added every week.
It is worth it. It'll change your life. I promise you.
Get started today at calm.com/sextalk. Not calm.com/mom. That's another podcast. But calm.com/sextalk. That would really help us out, and it will help you out. Mother, do you know the capital of Bulgaria?
Sophia?
You got it.
I love this game. Trivia Star.
Trivia Star is a super fun mobile quiz game that's entertaining and challenging.
Can I tell you something? While you were watching out for bed bugs and fires and things like that, guess what I was doing? I didn't want to tell you this.
You're playing Trivia Star?
Yes, I was.
Were you looking at a particular category? Because they have over 60 categories to choose from, including music, sports, movies, TV, animals, and celebrities.
I like animals.
Here's the deal with Trivia Star, which is why I like it. You start off easy. You get the multiple choices correct. You beat the clock. You move on to the next level. And then the questions get harder and harder over time.
Right. It's very validating, though.
It is.
And
it's challenging.
And for a person like myself, in the, getting up in age, it's good to challenge your mind.
And right now, Trivia Star is offering you 2,500 coins and 500 gems when you download and play. You can make a whole treasure trove from that.
It's fun.
Just go to the Apple or Google store and search for Trivia Star. Again, search Trivia Star and enjoy 2,500 coins and 500 gems. Download Trivia Star for free today. Well, it turns out the next day,
Well, it turns out he calmed us all down, I guess. I don't know what happened. At that point, I probably popped another quarter and said, I'm going to bed.
so we went to sleep. No, I didn't sleep, but,
You
we
were on
tried.
high alert.
And we made it through the night. And we actually decided to stay that day because we realized we were in beautiful nature after all.
We were in beautiful nature, and I didn't feel like mentally that either of us were prepared to drive down that mountain again.
I couldn't do it.
Daylight, sun, or otherwise. And we had worked so hard to get through this issue. So
So I hiked around while I came back to find you. You were supposed to just be enjoying
nature.
the nature, and I come back to find you on TikTok.
I was on a whole photo shoot.
Busted.
Photo shoot.
And I saw you TikToking.
Yeah, you know what I TikToked?
What?
That I wanted to get off the grid, but I was addicted to TikTok, so I couldn't.
Jesus Christ.
You nailed me.
You were totally busted.
All right, but we did enjoy the night because you made a good dinner, and then we went outside and we saw tons of stars, shooting stars, all kinds of stars.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
It was a phenomenal trip.
Oh, yeah.
What?
I don't want to say phenomenal because of the anxiety that it was produced, but we still at that point did not have confirmation that it was a bed bug.
On the morning that we left, we received confirmation it was a bed bug.
It was a bed bug.
Which is very fun information to wake up to.
Okay.
And you're taking this so lightly. I'm like, Mom, we got bed bugs.
Okay.
We got to put everything that we own in trash bags right now.
Yeah.
And we have to basically incinerate them when we get back.
Yeah.
And I look over. First of all, you're arguing that you don't want to put any of your pants in the dryer because
I have beautiful, beautiful pants, Fiore pants. I love them, and they're supposed to be lightly tumble dried. I'm not putting them in
30 minutes high heat we need to kill these bugs.
You wanted to put everything
as
in
I'm
there.
trying to do this, I look over at you. You're scrolling through your fucking phone, trying to make a birthday post for your sister.
Yeah, it's her birthday. Also,
it's her fucking birthday.
No, in the middle of that, I was texting Ty.
Yeah, you're fucking texting Ty Verdes from last week.
He just texted me. He hadn't had a chance to post anything.
Meanwhile, I'm throwing out all the provisions that I had brought.
You were
because I was scared that there was going to be fucking bed bugs in it.
You told me that you were going to throw out your eyeglasses case, your wallet.
I threw out my bag that I brought everything in. I threw out a little tote bag
you
I brought.
Me throw out a brand new pillow that I spent $30 on.
I'm ripping through trash bags to try to get the firmest airtight grip on all of it.
I know.
And meanwhile, you're just lumping shit into my car as if it's nothing.
Because we only saw one bed bug.
Oh, only one. What do you think? It's just one that exists? No,
it was a dead
with
one.
the family.
No, because nobody had stayed at this place recently.
They live for up to a year without food, aka human blood.
Okay, I doubt that's
true. Then they
true.
get into your fucking shit, and they swarm, and they get everywhere.
Okay, but meanwhile, I asked you this morning what you were doing, and you told me that you had frozen 2 paperback books of yours. You put 2 paperback books in the freezer.
One of which was The Gift of Therapy.
Right. That's irony.
I don't have any need for that book anyway, so just put it into the fucking freezer.
So for those of you who want to recap, I have been posting on TikTok, but just so you know, we made it down the mountain in the morning.
We made it down the mountain. We came home, and you were falling asleep trying to put laundry.
Yeah.
In
I was putting it. You made me so nuts, and I did it in reverse
I made you so
order.
nuts?
Yes.
I saved your apartment from years of bed bugs.
A friend of yours who's a doctor.
Yeah.
And he scared the bejesus out of me, telling us
Thank you.
And this time, you have to be extra, extra anxious.
Yes.
Because it can take over your apartment.
He said it took him 3 months to eradicate the bed bugs from his apartment. 3 months.
This would not be good.
I incinerated every article of clothing, I was in my laundry room today, naked, just ass naked in the laundry room, putting all, because I didn't. Every time what I would do is I do a load of laundry, and then I realized that the clothes I was currently wearing could have touched the clothes that I put into the wash.
Me.
So then I would put that clothes into the wash, and then I'd be ass naked, and I have to go up. This is an apartment building.
And then you took all your food and put it out for the homeless.
I brought all the provisions back to LA, and I realized, I don't know, there could be some bed bugs in the food. So
how can there be bed bugs in a can of beans?
I knew that there was not going to be bed bugs in the cans of pinto beans, but I didn't want to deal with my own anxiety, so I knew for it,
That makes
the
no
dollar I
sense.
spent on the pinto beans, I'm just going to put it on the street. Someone can enjoy it.
And somebody took it and threw it and hit your car?
Yes. I came out this morning. The fucking pinto beans, it looks like it crashed against my car.
But
It's in the gutter next to my car.
They took the rest of the provisions?
Yeah, they did. Not the nuts.
They didn't want
But they
nuts.
took the tea
They took tea.
in the risotto.
There's a black market for that.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh my God. I have bags of suitcases and everything on my balcony right now.
by the way,
What?
so this is Cam's Uppers. It's the place
This
to
is Cam's
be.
This is Cam's Uppers?
Yeah, Cam's Uppers.
Oh my God. What does that mean?
Well, while I was driving you for 5-6 hours back from the
What do
from
you mean
the
driving?
mountain.
You sound like I'm driving the
I was your
the
driver.
old person from the nursing home to the other nursing home. What do you mean?
Well, I didn't really feel like I was driving an old person because you were literally watching the Bears game on your phone,
Yes.
yelling
Yes.
into the phone.
Well, if you're watching a game like that where the Bears are getting trounced by the Rams, it's like very depressing.
You think I want to hear that when I'm fucking driving for 3 hours
No, I would
straight?
think that you'd want to watch the game with me, and you did not want to watch that.
I was just to watch the game with you.
Just listening to the
I'm
announcer.
driving you.
You would listen. You could listen to the play-by-play.
I don't want to listen to play-by-play. So
I
instead,
didn't want to listen to it either.
I listened to Presidential, which is a podcast about presidents.
As always.
Did you know? And this is
I don't know
Cam's
why.
Uppers.
That's Cam's Uppers.
Cam's Uppers is the
A
part of the
place
show
to
that is
be.
it is the part of the show where
living
I tell
is
my
the
mother
life.
something that she usually finds boring, something maybe useless, or something
Generally annoying.
generally annoying. So I just wanted to share that John Adams is a very interesting president.
All right, moving on.
John
to
Adams and Thomas Jefferson were friends, although they did have a lot of spats and hatred towards one another during their times because they were in different political factions. But they were friends overall, and they both died on the same day
That's pretty weird.
within hours of each other. And that day, the 4th of July.
well,
Are you fucking kidding me?
It's not that unusual. Maybe they were old and they got all excited because it was the 4th of July and they both had heart attacks.
I don't think so.
It's not that weird.
John Adams was 90 years old. That's an old fuck.
For that age.
Can you believe that?
Back in those days,
Yeah.
that was 30 years beyond
He was
the
also
average
one of the
lifespan.
only presidents he was the only founding father who didn't own slaves for moral reasons. He was like, this is fucking crazy. I'm not going to own slaves.
I like John Adams.
I know.
And by the
And
way,
he's also the only one without a monument to dedicate
why
to him.
are you pulling your hair out right now?
It's Cam's Uppers.
So you have to pull your hair out. Okay,
Yeah.
mom's news, mom's news, mom's news.
Are we done with the fucking
Yeah.
the trip story? Was that the whole trip?
We saw elephant seals.
Yeah.
Juvenile elephant seals along the road, which I was very impressed the way you just maneuvered. I have to compliment you.
Thank you.
You did a damn good job of driving by yourself for like 7 hours.
I would like you to compliment me on the fact that you make me out, you paint me into this fucking insane, anxious mess on this podcast.
Yeah.
That's the image you like to put out into the world that I am.
And after you heard the news that it was officially validated that you had bed bugs, how were you acting?
Yeah, that's the question.
You were not calm.
Excuse me.
You were throwing.
I was at attention.
You were at attention.
I was acting completely appropriately in
were
an
like-
emergency crisis.
Yeah, but meanwhile, you were taking everything, throwing everything in the dryer and the washer. And your
I was
food,
prepared.
you were
I was
taking
moving.
Food out, everything was you couldn't decide about.
It wasn't
taking
chaos. No.
a box of
You're making
vegetables.
this sound like it was chaos. Everything was very orderly, moving swiftly and quickly to address the crisis that we were experiencing. And meanwhile, you're fucking sitting there looking for a fun picture of you and your sister.
Yes, because it was her birthday.
And you're sitting on the chair that could be completely
yeah, you wouldn't
contaminated
let me.
with...
You wouldn't let me sit down. You were convinced that
I
somehow
had
if I
just
sat down,
I just dried all of your fucking clothes so that they were... What?
you didn't dry my clothes.
I put your shit all in there.
I did that. What are you talking about?
Okay.
All right, mom's news. Mom's news.
All right. I hope you
mom's
enjoyed that story.
news,
Mom's news.
I thought this was particularly appropriate since we're on a nature thing.
Okay.
In 2016, a 100-year-old horny tortoise had more sex than you.
Me?
Yeah.
Well, that's not hard to do.
His name was Diego. And he had so much slow motion sex that he fathered 800 tiny tortoise babies and saved his entire species. Really, when there were only 2 males and 12 females left of the Galapagos giant tortoises, Diego stepped up his sex game and became Daddy of the Year when he created literally 40% of today's Galapagos giant tortoise population.
Wow. Let me ask you something. Does he have to have sex 800 times, or is they popping out with multiple little eggs?
Looks like 800 times.
No fucking way. They're not mammals.
Oh, you're right. You're right. They do more than one at a time.
Yeah, tons and tons of eggs. So who knows?
It could be very well. He had a lot. He had potent sperm.
He did have some potent sperm.
Yeah.
Which after this trip, I would say my potency has actually improved.
Well, wait. Why would you know about your sperm on this trip?
Because I conquered some fucking fears, and my survival of the fittest sperm is going to be surviving.
Oh, I see where you're going with this. It's kind of it's a weird way of thinking, but okay.
Thank you. I think we've hit the end of our show, Mother. Do you have any closing thoughts related to...
Yeah, I'd like to know if anybody's been in this kind of circumstances like we have. I mean, has anybody been in
people have gone into nature before. They've been in that circumstance.
No, but...
In fact, some of them are currently in that circumstance.
Going into nature... yeah, we're going to have some guy that we met that had been in all 50 states.
He was a friend of the road that is going to come on the podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a new friend on the road section on the road again. Yeah, we're going to invite a guy named Maxwell on, and he's going to tell us a story about how he lived in all 50 states in an RV with his family of 6 kids.
All right.
Anyway.
Do you have any closing thoughts related to this trip, Mother?
Yes, I think you should marry a doctor. I've thought about it. You need to have a doctor, not a psychiatrist, although that wouldn't hurt. Maybe a dual degree, psychiatry and general internist.
Well, psychiatrists are doctors.
I know, but that would be for your mind. You need one that knows a lot about the physical ailments.
Yeah, I think that's actually great.
Yeah. You need someone who...
You know my closing thought for this?
What?
I think you need to have we need to have an intervention for you.
Why?
We need to intervene and remove you from your phone.
Why?
Because you're completely addicted.
I like my phone.
I know you like your phone. It's too much.
Why is it? Says who?
You're constantly watching the phone.
It gives me enjoyment and knowledge at the same time.
I wanted to say thank you to our patrons that made this episode and all of our episodes possible.
I would like
to know. I hope you feel like your money is going to good use.
Yeah, I would like to know if you have experienced any outdoor adventures, because this was up with the annuals.
You can text us if you have any similar stories. 310-356
3920.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll pull that one out of my ass.
That's also in our episode description.
Say it again.
310-356
3920.
Nailed it.
Woo.
Monty, Ginny, and Frank, thank you so much for your patronage. We love having you as patrons, and thank you very much for your generosity.
I also want to thank the owner of the house. I thought that was very generous of him to let us use his home.
Yes.
Which is a beautiful, cool home out in the wilderness.
Yes, I agree. Thank you very much to that person. And thank you to all of you who've left us reviews. It means the world to us. If you need help finding out how to leave a rating and a review, just go to ratethispodcast.com/mom. Also in the episode description. I wanted to read one from Daphne. There are so many podcasts to listen to, and hands down, this one is my go-to. I heard another listener leave a review saying that you guys feel like home. I double that. Thanks for your sense of humor and always making my day. Daphne in Utah.
We guys feel like home.
We guys feel like home.
Us guys, we feel like home.
That's so sweet. Thank you, Daphne. I'm glad we feel like home. And I bet being in Utah, you've gotten yourself into some fucking... some nature.
I didn't like when I was driving in Utah either. And there was no one around there for gasoline.
Oh, yeah. That happens.
Well,
we made it back, and hopefully we're bed bug free.
Yeah.
And I will say it was a very fun trip to be.
We did have fun.
We had a laugh.
We laughed our asses off.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing. You got to laugh.
Well, we love you all.
Make 'em laugh. All right, I'm going to sing for you guys.
Please do.
And let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and having life-threatening experiences. All right.
Yeah.
Life-threatening.
Experiences.
fatal closing.
Fatalities.
Not having fatalities.
Oh, that's good.
That works.
All right. Thank you guys. Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.